Hello everybody, we are back with another video. I got the homie Dave on the line here. We're gonna react to something real interesting here, so yeah, let's get that shit underway, yeah?
It's been a little bit over a week since the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, and it's very safe to say at this point that, yes, this console is going to be a success. All the backlash is going to be ineffectual. The console is going to sell gangbusters. It's going to be this very well-received thing, and it is going to put PlayStation, Xbox, and PC into the ground. I think people...
Yeah.
Oh.
That is the craziest statement I've ever heard.
Oh my god.
Like, Nintendo is never... I
gracious.
suck at driving. Fucking hell. Nintendo is not going to come anywhere close to putting PlayStation and Xbox on the ground, dude. Like, that's just not happening. It's just not happening. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
Menace to Society
Yes.
badge.
People are really underestimating just how good of a position Nintendo is in right now. Like, you keep seeing people like say things like, oh, Nintendo's due for like one of their bad selling consoles, or like, you know, they think PlayStation or Xbox are going to make some glorious comeback. You know, there's rumors that the Xbox handheld's going to be a thing, and that like the Steam Deck exists. You know, like, there's all this talk, and like, I'm sitting here going like, none of that matters. You know, Xbox and PlayStation are not competitive with Nintendo. You know,
You're right, because they're Nintendo's in the dirt
Yeah.
compared to them. It blows my mind. It blows my mind. But no. The title is how Nintendo beat PC gaming. Get to that, sir. I want to hear how it beat the largest market in the world when it comes. Nope, second largest behind mobile gaming, but the largest mainstream market in the world to gaming. I want to see this.
Steam Deck was not competitive with Nintendo. You know, nobody can do what Nintendo does, right? It's just not possible. You know, when Sega said that like Genesis does what Nintendo don't, what they really meant was go out of business, you know, because Nintendo just rakes in money all the time on older hardware, through movies, through parks, through merchandising.
Sonic still is the best video game movie adaptation out there.
Well, the Mario movie was good. The Sonic movie had gotten 2 sequels, so make of that what you will.
Nintendo, why are you making the Legend of Zelda live action? What we gonna have as it? Tom Holland as Link?
Yeah, that could work.
Kevin Hart as Zendaya? Or Zelda? Kevin Hart as Zelda?
Kevin Hart and Zelda would be fucking
We're
funny.
gonna have The Rock have Ganondorf?
They are absolutely killing it. And right now, you know, the Pretendos are running scared. You know, they're trying to meme like something like things into reality. You know, like complaining about games never going on sale. They do. Complaining about Nintendo's new leadership. You know, claiming that like Furukawa and Kimishima are businessmen who don't respect the gamer, and
They are, but
that simply isn't true at all, you know, especially in Kimishima's case, but whose entire purpose, you know, when he was CEO of Nintendo was to like continue Iwata's plans for the company, you know, like, again, like, you just have all these people, you know, coming out.
already 2 minutes in and you ain't said nothing about how Nintendo
He's just
beats
ranting
PC.
at this point. Loves hearing himself talk. I think he's one of those guys that makes up an argument and then just starts arguing against himself more than anything. Oh fuck, I hate myself. Ow. I think.
Just coping and seething about the inevitability of another Nintendo success story, because they know that like once this console comes out and once it becomes successful, there will be no gaslighting people anymore. You know, like for the past decade, we've already kind of seen like narratives against Nintendo kind of crumble to dust. You know, like the age-old claim that they censor games or that they don't make games for adult gamers. You know, like.
I ain't heard nobody say this mess. I'm gonna be 100%. I ain't heard.
Yeah,
nobody
those
say
are like older arguments, like from like early 2000s backwards. Like that's not a thing anymore. I mean, Catherine Full Body is a game that's like for a more adult audience, and that's a got a Switch port. Just an example.
It's just I need him to get to the point of this title. I need him to get to the point.
Was ever true, but until like the past decade or so, back when they first announced Bayonetta 2, that was a narrative that was still like very, very deeply entrenched in the Western gaming sphere. And I would argue it still would be if Western third parties did not drop the ball so hard when it came to developing new games to keep people interested in like Xbox and PlayStation. Like if third parties had been able to like continue off of that momentum with the PS360, like there might be a lot more like basis for these claims against Nintendo. This idea that they aren't visually competitive, that their hardware is trash, that like they just remake the same thing over and over again. A lot of this stuff might have a lot more momentum if they had any real competition.
I mean, the major consoles are beating Nintendo out by like a large margin, so I don't see why he's making this point at all. I mean, to be fair, he only plays on Nintendo, so his statement is like kind of ass.
Blows my mind away because the Switch 2 is supposed to be as powerful as a PS4 Pro, not even a PS5 base model.
PS4 Pro.
Nintendo's hardware has always been trash. The only thing that they have good going for it has been their exclusives. And even then, why are you remaking Donkey Kong like 2-3 times? I'm not giving no excuse to PlayStation re-releasing The Last of Us 6 times. But like Nintendo does. But here's the thing though. We get Donkey Kong's fun to play. I don't need 3 different releases of it. We get Mario Kart 8 is one of the best Mario Kart games. Too many the best. We don't need to get re-release of it. I get Zelda games are fun, but you don't need to keep re-releasing this stuff.
But they don't, like 2020.
He said it. Thank you.
24's Astrobot kind of demonstrates that pretty clearly. Where the entire gaming industry formed this like Marvel Ultimate Alliance to try and like take down Nintendo's Infinity Gauntlet of platformers. And they just failed,
Exists.
Like,
how did Astrobot fail? How did Astrobot fail if it won Game of the Year?
That's pretty high rating.
I'm waiting for Sony to release the game on PC because I already know this will be our proper 3D Mario game because we know modders are going to mod Mario and all into it. We know this is going to happen.
And we're going to have all the DualSense stuff too, so, the PlayStation fanboys
would be nice.
Will be able to say, "Oh, they don't have the DualSense features." We do.
Yeah, like, next, let's move on.
They gave Astrobot a Game of the Year award, tried to call it like one of the best 3D platformers ever made, and it just fell flat on its face.
How does it fall flat on its face if it won Game of the Year and is considered one of the best platformers in more recent years?
You just mad because it ain't a Mario platformer. That's basically why.
It's going to be severely outperformed by Bonanza come July. And
Ooh!
I'm thinking of the new Donkey Kong game.
I ain't heard nothing from that, honestly, since it's revealed.
It's honestly not even going to be remembered. It's not remembered now. Like 2023 has Baldur's Gate 3,
Call Baldur's Gate 3 one more time, and you and me gonna run one.
We're gonna run the fade, and I'm gonna record it.
Because Baldur's Gate, Goat Gate 3, one of the greatest video games ever created, brought me back into the gaming sphere when Call of Duty and a lot of other AAA garbage was being trashed. I spent a whole year playing Baldur's Gate 3. It revived so much love and passion for gaming. Yeah. It will forever hold a special place in my heart, and I'm going to go and replay it again since the final patch is out.
For me, I may not like Baldur's Gate 3 mainly because it's just not like a game I'm personally into, but I can respect what it did. I mean, while every other AAA developer was selling their fucking games for $69.99 plus tax, they didn't give into that. They sold the game at $59.99 MSRP. And they didn't have no dumb microtransaction battle pass bullshit either. They just made the game fun. They let you grind it out, and it was actually, had compelling content within the game, so people didn't get bored. It has hundreds of hours of content, and if I'm not mistaken, has a pretty big mod community for it. Yeah.
It had every AAA developer
honestly.
shook. It had everyone. You had some developers saying we can't even make that quality level of game, and that's how shook it had the industry. Crazy how 2 years ago it was like that, and now 2 years later we have this slop coming out. Since he likes to use the word slop with trash Tendo.
Yeah, but hey, we have Claire, Expedition 33. And Oblivion Remaster, which looked great. Doom's coming out in like less than 2 weeks. I'm super hyped for that shit, dude. You don't have any idea.
Yeah, we can pre-install it too, which is crazy.
Too. Something Nintendo users can't do because Doom won't run on there at all. Or at least this one won't.
It would blow up the whole
set it on fire.
Let's continue.
A game that people put up against The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. And it's not as remarkable, it's not as interesting, it's not as relevant. Zelda's bigger than...
So if it's not as relevant, how come they were still updating it until this final patch for 2 years, and Tears of the Kingdom basically has already been shelved, and they're already looking forward to the next one? Baldur's Gate 3 is a generational game. You won't replicate that for another generation to come, dude. And even if Larian Studio, they're already saying that they want to work on their next gen game. Look at The Witcher 4, for instance. The Witcher 3 came out years ago, but The Witcher 4, when that cinematic trailer at the Game Awards and everything, it looked, and I hope CD Projekt Red does a phenomenal job with this, because they turned Cyberpunk around. It's one of the greatest
Honestly,
games
even when I played it at
time.
launch, I thought it was a great game, but I was like, it's a great game, but they need to fix it. And then once they fixed it, dude, I came back and replayed it at least 3 more times because the updates just made the game that much better, especially with their 2.0 update when Phantom Liberty came out. Bruh, that shit was fucking awesome. Best time I've spent with that game in a hot minute. And obviously I modded my playthroughs because, that game, just like Witcher 3, has a fucking awesome mod community behind it. So that just made the game better. Like, I could be driving, like, for example, this M3 I'm in right now. I could have driven one of those while I was playing. It's great. PC gaming is awesome in general.
Fun times.
Than D&D ever was. Bigger than Lord of the Rings ever was. So this idea that, like...
I'm sorry, no.
that people had that, like, Baldur's Gate 3, it's so deep and complex, and you can have sex with so many different things. It's like... that doesn't make a better game, I've always said that, like, Baldur's Gate 3 is the Twilight of video games. It's the same exact argument. Like, I want to fuck the characters, so that makes it good. No, that means it's porn. You degenerate.
It's crazy. Brother, I play... Hold up.
And now, like,
I play erotic visual novels from time to time. I know when it's good and I know when it's bad. Just because I can fuck a certain character doesn't mean it's good. The writing has to be good so I can actually get to the point where they fuck. It's like... Baldur's Gate 3 is the same way. You have a compelling story, and then once you deepen your bond with a character, and then eventually you get to do the thing. So, yeah.
What he didn't explain is that it's a choice. You don't have to do it through the whole game.
Yeah. In visual novels, which I've seen a lot of that, same thing. You can choose to do X or do Y. Depends on the visual novel, of course, but some of them you can. Like calling that stuff out is pretty silly, to be honest. Because that's just like 1/65th of the fucking game. Like, I mean, I'd imagine you don't even have to like deepen your bond with any of the characters to even play the game, huh? Yeah,
not really. You could just play through the whole game.
That's why it's called an RPG. You get to choose how you play the game. I mean...
I already know what he's getting ready.
I'm not sure, but like...
I already know.
2 years later, nobody remembers Baldur's Gate 3. Nobody talks about it. You know, and
I knew he was gonna say
it's
that.
just cope.
So let me go on Steam
It's probably
DB really
got-
quickly. If I look
bet
at
it's
Steam
gonna have
DB,
at least
it's got 121,000 players. Is in the top most played games. It's right with Schedule 1, Repo, Claire Expedition 33, Counter-Strike, Rivals, PUBG, Oblivion Remastered. So the popular games that are on Steam alone, not even mentioning
Or
on
Game
GOG,
Pass.
not even mentioning on Xbox. Yep, not even mentioning on any
it's
of
just
those.
Steam. People who bought
So-
the games and are playing them right now. Well, in the case of CS2 and Marvel Rivals and which one of those other ones is free to play? I know it's just those two: Marvel Rivals, CS2. It's Oh yeah, PUBG went free to play. So yeah, that would also count. Yeah,
PUBG.
3 of those fucking games are free to play and have been alive for fucking ever. Especially in the case of whatchamacallit, CS:GO/CS2. Speaking of CS2, I might want to fucking get on that shit again because shit's fun.
Indeed.
and fans are making like a really bad name for themselves. You know, I myself have been screamed at in public for not liking it. So it's like it's one of those things that
It's not the fact that you don't have to like the game. It's the fact that you were trying to make it a fact that it's a terrible game.
You're trying
And
to
it's not
push
a
that
terrible-
narrative, and it's clearly wrong. And most people are of the mindset that Baldur's Gate 3 is a good game, even though maybe like someone like myself who hasn't played it and doesn't really like that kind of RPG game can acknowledge the game is super cool and just deep and complex and just good in general. I mean, one game of the fucking year, dude. Like, there's no better measure of success than that, and just universal community praise, you know?
It's
It
fun.
really
It's
is.
just fun.
like, you know, it's been getting this really negative reputation, you know, exactly like Twilight did back in the day. It's amazing to see happen, but yeah, Baldur's Gate 3 could not compete with any of Nintendo's properties, let alone Zelda. And then you have like
Brother.
Elden.
Two things. Number one, I want to slap this guy for continuously saying Baldur's Gate 3. And point number two, like we've said already, it won Game of the Year and is still talked about and is still heavily interacted with by the community, again, because of the fucking modding scene that no Zelda game has, mind you, because, you know, it's locked away to a platform that's very restrictive. So, you know, that's not doing anything.
Oh, so no. Let's go over with this. Tears of the Kingdom does have mods, but it ain't on the
Emulator.
Switch. It's on the emulator. I'm not gonna go ahead and say the emulators' names or anything because I don't want those kind people who actually are making the game better and everything on our hardware to get in trouble. But yeah, on emulators, oh my god, so many games like Mario Kart Wii, you get modded ROM hacks. You get over 800
Yeah.
tracks. Stuff that we ain't even seen in a Mario Kart game before. Why do you think Mario Kart Wii is still being played? New Mario Kart DS, New Super Mario Bros,
Mario
Mario
Kart 8.
Galaxy, Smash Ultimate has mods on PC.
I'm assuming
go.
Mario Kart 8 has mods on PC too, huh?
Oh, tons of it, tons of it. You can even play it with. Here's the fun thing: you can even play it with those mods. I played as
Yo.
Wreck-It Ralph on
Yo,
Nimbus
that's funny.
online.
Yo, I
against
just realized
people.
something else. Another game he mentioned earlier that has mods in their RPGs. Pokemon ROM hacks.
They're still they just made a new one too. I'm not gonna say the name because I don't want the ninjas to come and get them. But it's a phenomenal
Yeah.
ROM hack. Something that Critico don't want nobody to know
I remember
about, of course.
playing a one where the Pokemon were redesigned this very specific way, let's just say, and I enjoyed that. And I think it was on a DS game, I think,
Yeah.
or one of the GBA games.
All right.
Apologies.
Than Ding-a-ling, you know, a game that flopped when it came out, was irrelevant, was propped up only by game journals, desperate to have some kind of W. And what happens, you know? Not only does the game get ported to the superior Nintendo Switch 2 platform, it's also getting a new entry exclusive to the Nintendo Switch 2, right? You know, FromSlop knew that they couldn't compete with Nintendo, and so they bent the knee and jumped ship, you know, because...
Quickly. God. Give me one moment. Oh, no way in the world, dude.
A few minutes later.
I'm in honest disbelief, guys. Like, I really am. I don't really know what else to say. I'm just admiring the background here.
Oh my goodness.
Dave, I am so lost in thought after what he just said. I'm just staring at these mountains while I'm driving this Pacific Coast road, man. I don't know what to say to that. Do you know what to say to that? I don't.
No, I don't. I just want to.
Sony wasn't going to bankroll Bloodborne 2, you know? So, like, again, the past 3 years of, like, Game of the Year contenders, winners, you know, the big major games that have come out that have been propped up as, like, major Nintendo killers, you know, like, games that 20 years ago would have been games like, you know, Final Fantasy X or Metal Gear Solid or things like that, you know, these huge, like, just well-received popular games that were popular decades after release. Not going to happen with these releases. Like, Astrobot didn't even last through that year, honestly. So, like, you know, Baldur's Gate 3 didn't last 3 months.
Why do I want to punch my fucking monitor right now? I want to punch my monitor right now. That's wild. That's a wild fucking statement. 3 months.
Everything been going on for years.
Yeah, literally since its release. Wait, is the new patch out already, or has it been out already?
Oh yeah, no, the final patch came out sometime last week.
Yeah, I bet it's still a hot topic amongst you Baldur's Gate 3 guys.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
That is a wild fucking statement, man.
Love it.
Elden Ring only stayed relevant because of the shit stain on the Turd Tree DLC, right? So like when you
no, that is fucking wrong. No. Oh, no. That is crazy. That is wild. No. I played Elden Ring when the popularity of it was starting to skyrocket pretty crazy, and I had my fun with it. It was so cool. But that's some straight bullshit. I want to punch my monitor right now.
Don't you ever disrespect the DLC that was in that year came out, and it was almost as long as single player.
It was
games.
nominated. Wasn't it nominated for like multiple categories, or at least? Yeah.
Yep.
That's crazy. Imagine your DLC being so good, it got a spot in the Game Awards.
You take all that into consideration when you see like what's actually happening in the gaming space. Like, what you're seeing is that the games that people actually like and enjoy are all exclusive or available on Nintendo hardware.
Now this one gets me. This one's got me. Okay. Sit in your chairs, children. We're going to school right now.
You're about to learn, something.
Console gaming is dying. I want these weirdos to understand that. It's dying. I have seen many articles from top tier analysts, people who've been in the gaming industry since the SNES and the Genesis days. They have said more and more people constantly switch to PC daily. When the prices went up for the Series S and X, when the price went up for the Switch 2, guess what? People are like, well, maybe I can get a PC now. No, it's too late because all the components are going up because of this crap that's going on this economic world. We have the most games, best mods, streaming services. Since he likes to consider YouTube exclusive to PC, okay, we got YouTube. We got movies. We got tons of movies. Anime. We got
each anime.tv, if you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we got a lot of shit. MovieBox Pro.
And as much as I don't like Epic Games and all, I will say you have the freedom on here. If you want to play Fortnite or all your Epic games, you can do that. Xbox has it where you have a Play Anywhere. All your entire Xbox library that has Xbox Play Anywhere, guess what? When you get your gaming PC, you ain't even got to spend a dime day one because you can go ahead and play those same games on your computer. You got Steam with this endless library.
Or if you're on
just
Game
tons
Pass,
of new
which
games,
again, those
mods.
can be played like pretty much anywhere.
Yeah. And then you got GOG if you're a retro gamer and like to have your games on a hard drive or a disc and you like the old school feel. It is so freedom. And let me shout out Game Jolt and itch.io, the indie game markets that still keep rising daily because indie game developers like to make good things. I've supported stuff like Ravenfield, Clone and Danger, Vintage Story. Among Us started on itch.io. Nodia started on itch.io. So many good indie games. Celeste started on there. But yet, we get told that we are the plagues of gaming. Dude, if y'all just get this, and I'm, mind you, I have a new
He has a 5060.
GPU. My buddy right here has a 4070 Super.
Ti, but you know, we pretty close, yeah. And you have a 5060 Ti, right?
Yep, with the 16 gigabyte model, we both can run every single game at high settings over 100 FPS, no problem, without even upscaling it.
Just depends on the game, really. But we run our games pretty high up. Like this right here, I'm playing Assetto Corsa at the highest settings with mods on. Most consoles probably won't be able to fucking do this shit.
Mind you, I ran Oblivion Remastered, this the same game that this lousy nobody likes to talk about. I ran it at ultra settings, ray tracing at the highest, DLSS quality. Without FrameGen, I got 100 FPS. With FrameGen, I got 180 something FPS, moving up to 200. 180 was my
I was
minimum.
playing, Indiana Jones in a Great Circle. That shit was like at least 100 frames when I kept everything pretty high up there. I mean, it's got like built-in ray tracing, so things are a little more difficult there. But overall, that game ran for me pretty good once I got the settings down.
The PC people, it's not that difficult.
There's no reason to spend $5,000 on a PC.
You don't need to spend $5,000, dude. Dave, isn't your PC at least under $1,000 at least?
Yeah, my PC is under 1,000. Besides, it bothers me when I hear people say you need a $5,000 PC, dude. eBay, Jawa, you can go on there and go to an auction. The TV PC that I have as a TV console PC was $313. Y'all know why it was $313? Because I got it on an auction brand new. I just popped in a 3060 in there.
Oh yeah, and then you got the Arc B580, which was like $300 at the time, and that thing ran your shit pretty good.
Yes, and it's just, it blows my mind. Don't listen to people who say you need to spend $5,000.
Like, check this out. Like when I was telling my friend, like he doesn't have a very good PC. Like he had like this like shitty laptop. I'm like, yo, you want cheap PC gaming? Get a fucking Steam Deck, yo. $400, it'll get you exactly what you need. And he bought one, and he's been playing his Dead Space, Dead Rising, Sparking Zero, and all that stuff without any hassle at all.
Ridiculous hearing these weirdos talk about you need this, you need that. If you ain't even a PC
for
gamer,
me, like
shut
my
up
PC
about it.
when I built my first one was at least $1,200 to $1,500 because I wanted high-end performance. Like I had a Ryzen 7 5800X, I bought this 3070 Ti off of Reddit for $500, and that was like the bulk of my build. And then my next build was a little more crazy because I had gotten the Intel 13900K, and like I got a 4070, and if I had to sell my PC right now, the one I have under me right now, this thing would be at least like $3,000, $3,500-ish dollars. Oh shit, I killed my engine. But yeah, my PC's expensive, but I don't need it to be expensive to play the games that I want to play.
Here's a funny thing, people. I'm a budget person. I like to be on a budget. Get all my parts on a budget. This GPU is the most expensive thing that I've gotten in this PC. Literally. It was $500. That's still cheap.
You said it.
I can still run everything that I need. Everyone dogs the 3060 12GB model. That thing has ran so well for a year and a half for me. Pair that with lossless scaling, you literally got a perfect combo for a TV console.
Oh yeah, right. That's the one you have with 3060 in it now, right?
Frame gen for lossless scaling on a TV PC, Oblivion remastered at high settings, over 100 FPS.
Yeah, that's the
No
craziest
input lag.
part. Like you have no input lag on there at all. Like these guys will say, "Oh, you can't plug your PC gaming PC into a fucking TV." The HDMI port is right there. Dave's doing it right now on his TV. Like, he can lay in bed and play fucking whatever he feels like playing. And
Master Chief Collection.
oh yeah, dude,
Like I was earlier.
that's
today.
like literally like the best way to play it. Like just to bring back those old school memories when I was playing Halo 3 on Xbox 360, dude. That shit was so cool. I think even split screened it on PC, right? That shit's so
with
fucking
remote
awesome.
play.
Or an unoptimized port of some Japanese game when you can just buy a Nintendo Switch 2 for a fraction of that price and not only play that game, but also everything else that's exclusive to that platform, right? There is no reason not to own a Nintendo Switch 2. And that's the issue that a lot of people are having trouble with right now, is that people are still coping and seething that, like, well, I only play third-party games, and I have a gaming PC for that. I only play on mobile. Like, nobody cares, okay?
Those two that you just said are the largest gaming markets and still growing daily.
PC market, yeah. Mobile too.
And
yeah.
mobile.
Honestly,
Mobile's
with
growing
cloud
too.
gaming, like a mobile gamer could have a room to talk, you know.
Yeah, and I'm one who can say that because I play College Football 25 on the Game Pass, our cloud gaming app
When I was
on my
in
phone.
when I was in school back in like 2019, 2020, cloud gaming was in beta. I got selected as part of the participation testers or whatever. I forgot what they called us. But we were testing it out, dude, and like I was playing like Halo, Forza Horizon 4, and a bunch of other stuff that was cloud play, you know, like could be cloud played at the time. Like I remember some people, I was playing Forza Horizon 4 on my lunch, like, and then people were like, "Bro, this Xbox controller." Like, "Oh yeah, I'm playing Forza Horizon 4 on my fucking phone," and like, you know, they were pretty impressed by that, which, you know, not easy to do, but back then it had some input lag. But if you had a good internet or 4G LTE, like that shit ran smooth as hell. And like it's a good budget way to play games if you don't have the hardware yet. And then like once you do get the hardware, especially since, you know, cloud gaming's part of Game Pass, like if you got an Xbox or you got well, honestly at this point getting an Xbox is a little too expensive, so might as well get a Steam Deck or something. You know, with Game Pass on that, you can just play the games natively through that. Save yourself a lot of money.
Like if you like video games, you're gonna want to get a Nintendo Switch 2 for the unique titles and experiences that it offers. Okay, there is no emulating it. There's no getting it anywhere else. There's no sidestepping Nintendo or, like, you know, waiting until they go out of business. It just isn't going to happen, and that's become very readily apparent over the past several years. And we're still in this weird phase where people are still refusing to admit it. They're doing everything they possibly can to just dig their heels in and try and tell us that, like, Nintendo's failing. You know, Tears of the Kingdom bombed at like 21 million units sold. Like, you know, they try and like push all these narratives, like calling Drag Drive like woke because it has wheelchairs in it, and trying to say that like there's nothing to do in the Mario Kart world open world mode. Like they're trying to do everything they can to keep the narrative towards Nintendo negative, right? And it just isn't sticking, you know? When I see, like, Moist Critical or Angry Joe complain about Nintendo, all I see are greasy fucks who don't know anything about the company, who don't play video games, who are completely out of touch, who are YouTuber clickbait scum, like just making their next round of clickbait. You know,
That is the
Joe tried to
wildest.
review some Nintendo products, and they shut him down.
That is the wildest statement I've fucking heard. Like, well, anything that comes out of this guy's mouth is fucking like borderline hard to believe. But yeah, I think Joe, the way he reviews things, like Nintendo obviously has a problem with. Clearly, if you know that's going on. What do they like make him delete his video or something, or give him a copyright claim?
I believe, if I'm correct, if I read something correct or saw a video of him before, I think before he was trying to review some Nintendo games, because the way he reviews games, anything negative, they didn't want that in that video. They wanted it all to be positive this, positive that, basically a butt kisser.
Yeah. Like, one thing I'm actually remembering was when the Switch trailer for Mortal Kombat 1 came out, apparently a Steam trophy appeared, a Steam achievement appeared somewhere. And then they took down that video because it wasn't running on hardware.
It won't run on any hardware because it's not that strong. It's terrible on the Switch.
It's obviously a miracle they got like Doom Eternal and Hogwarts Legacy and Apex Legends to run on that fucking thing.
About 15 frames per second.
If that.
Lucky.
If the Switch was to catch on fire and explode on your hand or something.
nothing they say matters. It doesn't hold weight. It doesn't leave an impact. They're not influencing anybody, you know, and that's been very apparent to me for a long time. And seeing them all rally to try and like downplay Nintendo Switch 2, you know, chalking up its obvious immediate success as like being due to Nintendo fanboys is completely out of touch with like the reality of the situation. Is that Nintendo is absolutely the best choice for the all-round gamer, right? If you're someone who likes all sorts of different experiences, who likes innovation in games, who likes life sims, platformers, strategy RPGs, action games, like Nintendo Switch is the easiest way to get a hold of any of that, right? This idea that like it's all going to come to PC is nothing but a cope, and I think with time, more and more people are going to become aware of that.
Is that was the end of the video, was it? Fuck. Yeah, holy fuck, that was a fucking cesspool of shit that we have to sit through. Yeah, like, I watch people cover this guy's videos, like, his older stuff, and it's just as cringy and just retardedly wrong as this one from, what was it, 2 weeks ago, right? That is lame as hell. But yeah. Holy fuck. Any final thoughts, Dave?
Let me take the view to something really quick that I'm gonna show that no console gamer has, specifically Nintendo.
Oh right, fucking key sites.
I can kick my feet up.
Be comfortable with the idea that I can save money.
I can kick my. Look at that. $2 for Payday 2, $1 for Hitman. Oh, I'm sorry. 13 for
Skyrim Special Edition. That was Special Edition, right? I can't see it from here.
Yep.
I bought a Settle Corsa off of fucking G2A for like less than $20 if I'm remembering that correctly.
Look at this. 35 for Claire Expedition 33.
That's wild. The savings you get. Like I think even with the games are not even out yet, they give you discounts for them.
Yep. Look at all these. Look at these deals, man.
I wish you could send me that footage because I can't fucking see it from here, or can't capture that footage.
Oh, goodness. But that's pretty much all. That's all I have, though.
Well, you heard him. That's it. Long story short, Nintendo is ass and PC gaming's better because of all the advantages that it has. Way more games, way more discounts, way more flexibility and freedom, and since the PC, if you need to do work on a computer, have a computer.
Indeed. For Doom.
Oh yeah. Well, with that being said, thanks for watching, guys, and until next time.